Hi, my name is Junwon Choi. I am an educated jazz guitarist, and what I do is pass down the apprenticeship I trained into jazz guitar lovers. I did not learn jazz guitar by memorizing scales or running patterns. I learned it the way jazz musicians actually learned, through melodies, harmony, and how real music moves. I truly believe anyone can play good jazz guitar if they learn the way jazz guitar was meant to be learned. Let me ask you something. If you have been practicing jazz guitar for years, learning scales, modes, arpeggios, why does your solo still fall apart the moment the chord changes? Why does it feel like you know a lot of information, but none of it turns into music? This is not a talent problem, and it is not a practice time problem. It is learning order problem. Most jazz guitarists are trained to start from shapes, scale shapes, mode shapes, arpeggio shapes. So, what happens? Your fingers move first, your eyes follow shapes, and your ears come very last. That's why your solo sounds disconnected. That's why every chorus feels like fragments instead of story. You are reacting to chord symbols instead of following the music itself. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Jazz is not built from scales. Jazz is built from the melody. Standards were not written as chord charts. They were written as songs with melodies. And those melodies already contain the logic of the harmony. If you understand the melody deeply, the harmony starts making sense naturally. This is where my entire approach starts. In VoiceLead jazz guitar, everything is built on one idea. The melody dictates harmony. The melody tells you what to play. Not theory first, not scale first, not pattern first. Melody first, then structure, then expansion. Let me show you the 3-step framework I use, and this is the same framework you will see applied to Fly Me to the Moon, All the Things You Are, and Autumn Leaves. Let me start with the Fly Me to the Moon. The reason jazz melodies work so well is because composers understood the guide tone. In circle of fifth progressions, the chord progressions, in the shell voicing, the third of the chord is where the harmony actually moves. composers knew this, so they embedded those thirds directly into the melody. So instead of inventing notes, we use what is already there. At this stage, your job is simple. Follow the melody and understand why it targets what it targets. Let me show you. The Fly Me to the Moon, the melody goes, by the way, we are in the key of C. The melody goes, it starts from the tonic C, going down scale wise to the F, and the chords changing from A minor 7 to D minor 7. If we just play the bass notes and the melody, only those two lines, this melody being the third of the chord, and then when it goes to the next chord, this is the third of the D, and then it keeps going. When the melody goes here, the bass goes to the G, and then B natural is the melody on top. So when the chord goes to the C major 7, melody is targeting the third, and then keep going. F major 7 is the chord. It starts the melody from the A, which is the third of the chord, right? When it goes to the B minor 7 flat 5, the melody being the third of the chord again. And then when it goes to the E7, the G sharp is the melody. And then A minor. And then it goes to the next section. Okay? So what I meant by saying understand why it targets what it targets, that means the third of the chord being the melody, the first measure, first beat of every measure, that is the melody dictates the harmony. This is not coincident that the same structure is happening in many other tunes. Fly Me to the Moon, we just saw All the Things You Are, Autumn Leaves, and also there are many other tunes are targeting these particular notes. Once the melody is clear, upper structures stop being theory tricks. They become obvious. You are no longer thinking, what scale do I play? You are thinking, what sound is already implied by this melody? This is where triads, upper structure sounds, and color tones appear naturally, not randomly. Let me show you what I mean by that on the same tunes. So when we are comfortable to targeting and we know the third of the chord is being the melody, when we only play this melody over here, this far apart, this is too far apart from the roots and the melody. We need to feel this inside. So within this chord structure, the third string is the third of the chord, and the upper structure, what I meant is, this is shell voicing, so A minor 7, which is flat 7th degree, and the 3rd degree, we usually don't play the 5th degree on the shell voicing, but the 5th is right here. So if we put the 5th added to the shell voicing and just don't play the root, this is C major triad. C being our target, and we just convert in thinking in major context. That is our upper structure triad. So this begins as a C major 7. So this is more easily we can see. Right? So on D minor 7, we can think it as a F major 7. And in this, the next chord, G minor 7, the target being the third of the G7 with the tension 9, we think this is a B minor 7. Then the next sequence becomes really interesting. After G7, we are playing C major 7, which was our first upper structure. So we don't think A minor is a C major, and when it comes back to the C major, it is repeating itself. After C major, where we go? F major 7, which was the upper structure of D minor 7. We already played it. And then after F major 7, it goes to B minor 7 flat 5, which we already played as an upper structure of G7. So thinking in upper structure doesn't mean it makes more complex. It will reduce what you need to know. The harmonic concept you are going to play on certain functional type of the chord is in same sound you can make. That's why it is keep repeating. A minor 7, you can play C major 7. D minor 7, you can play F major 7. And then G7, you can play B minor 7 flat 5. And then it repeats itself. That is a true privilege, true benefit, that by thinking in upper structure. And then also targeting the third, and from there playing the extension, the tension, the extended notes we're playing, that is exactly what Charlie Parker did in bebop. Let's get into the step 3. Now it comes to expansion. The same melodic logic, the same structure, but stretched across the fretboard. This is where octave displacement happens. This is where Django line and Wes line appear. Not as licks, but as inevitable solutions to playing the same idea across registers. This is how lines start flowing diagonally on the fretboard instead of getting stuck in positions. Let me show you, and let me play on the Fly Me to the Moon. The first chord is A minor 7, but I said we can play on C major 7, right? And this shape of the chord dictates which line we can play it over, which is this, in this case, Django line. So this A minor 7, thinking in upper structure, it connects to the third measure after it will go. When it goes to the C major 7, is the same structure. Alright? What I played is Django line, and then when it goes to the D minor 7, I played Wes line. This shape in F major 7 like this. This is F. So when the major triad can be played in this shape, this is Wes line. This major triad shape like this is Django line. But then we need to target the melody when the chord is changing. It looks a lot complex, but I bet you can hear the melody of the tunes and also harmony of the tunes. So here is the key point. This is not tune specific. If it works on one of these tunes, it works on all three. Because the logic comes from melody, not from the chord chart. That is why these tunes are perfect training material. They teach you how jazz actually functions. The three tunes are Fly Me to the Moon, All the Things You Are, and Autumn Leaves. If this way of thinking feels different, that is a good sign. On my website, I offer 2 hours of free lessons that walk you through this exact framework step by step. No sales pressure, just clarity. You can register at VoiceLeading.jazzguitar.com. I will put the link in the description and you can start there. And if you want to see how this logic appears in real master level playing, for example, how WesMontgomery actually applied it in those 3 tunes, that is exactly what Jazz Icon Wes's Insight is about on my website. Not licks, not mythology, just structure explained clearly. In that series, I transcribed and I show you how Wes would play on those structured Wes line and the Django line. And in the next video, I am going to be more direct. I will show you why most jazz guitar education actually slows your progress, even when it sounds advanced. If you have ever felt like you are practicing a lot but moving nowhere, you don't want to miss that one. So subscribe this channel and like it and share with your colleagues. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.